You know that feeling? You have a perfectly good day. 9 things go right. Then one tiny stupid thing goes wrong. A mildly critical email, a forgotten item on the grocery list, and suddenly your entire brain is broadcasting a documentary called The Case of Your Inevitable Failure, narrated by a very disappointed David Attenborough. Why? It's not because you're broken. It's because you're running software that is literally 500,000 years out of date. But what if I told you there's a way to debug that system? Not with positive thinking, but by becoming the system administrator of your own mind. Let me introduce you to your caveman brain. Its official name is the amygdala, but I like to think of it as a scrawny, hyper-vigilant caveman named Gronk. Gronk has one job: keep you alive. Not happy, not fulfilled, just alive. And in his world, alive means one thing: don't get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. For Gronk, a rustle in the bushes is always a tiger. A strange sound is always a predator. A negative social signal from the tribe? That's a prelude to being banished and then eaten by a tiger. Gronk's motto is, "It is better to assume a tiger 100 times and be wrong than to assume it's just the wind once and be dead." This, my friends, is the negativity bias. It's a brilliant survival system. But we are no longer living in Gronk's world. We've traded saber-toothed tigers for Slack messages, and Gronk is still running the show, reading your boss's email as if it's a potential predator. So what happens when you install prehistoric survival software in a modern human? You get a system that is perfectly designed to find, amplify, and obsess over the bad. I call this your internal council of doom. There's Gronk, your security chief, screaming about potential threats in your inbox. Then you have Brenda, the archivist of shame, whose sole job is to maintain a perfectly curated museum of your every past failure. You know when you're trying to sleep and your brain suddenly replays that time you said, "you too," to the waiter who told you to enjoy your meal? That's Brenda, lovingly projecting that memory in 4K. And finally, there's Steve, the prophet of catastrophe, who spends all day running simulations of everything that could possibly go wrong. He's the one who, after you send an email with a tiny typo, immediately starts a presentation titled Projected Timeline from Typo to Termination and Subsequent Homelessness. This council doesn't meet to help you. They meet to confirm their one central thesis: the world is dangerous and you are not enough. When you get 9 compliments and 1 piece of feedback, the council doesn't even hear the compliments. They hold an emergency session to analyze the feedback. Why did they say this? What does it mean? Let's cross-reference it with Brenda's archives from 2017. Steve, run a projection for how this leads to professional ruin in 5 years. They turn a single comment into a full-blown crisis. Neurologically, your brain has Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. A negative experience or thought sticks instantly, gets stored in Brenda's archives, and becomes a core data point for the council. A positive one? It just slides right off. This is why you can lay in bed at night, and the one awkward thing you said in a meeting 3 years ago plays on a loop with perfect clarity, while you completely forget the 5 people who told you later what a great point you made. Your brain is a threat detection machine, not a happiness maximization machine. It's not personal, it's just outdated programming. So how do we update the software? The good news is you don't need a PhD in neuroscience, you just need to run a simple 3-step protocol. I call this the reconfiguration protocol. Think of it as running an update on your phone. It might take a minute, but everything runs smoother after. We don't get rid of Gronk and the council. They're part of the system, but we can promote new, more rational managers. Step 1. Acknowledge the glitch. When you're spiraling, just say to yourself, the council is in session. This creates a tiny gap between you and the noise. It's you, the conscious CEO of your mind, noticing that the ancient alarm system is going off. You're not stopping the alarm, you're just no longer mistaking it for a real fire. Step 2, actively install the good. Remember the Teflon effect? We have to manually make the good stick. This isn't just positive thinking. This is data collection for a biased system. At the end of each day, write down 3 specific things that were neutral or positive. Not, I had a good day. That's too vague. Be specific. The barista smiled at me. I finished that one report. The sun felt warm on my skin. Remember that awkward, you too? Moment Brenda loves? Counter it by forcing her to also file, colleague said my presentation was clear today. You are building a new, balanced database. Step 3, run a reality check. When Steve, the prophet of catastrophe, predicts you're going to be fired because of that one typo, ask him, what is the actual, tangible evidence for this? Then ask the most important question. What is a more likely and less catastrophic explanation? You are not silencing him. You're asking him for his sources, and his sources are usually terrible. Slowly, something incredible happens. The council doesn't disband, but it loses its power. Gronk's panic attacks become mild alerts. Brenda's archives start to include your victories. Steve's projections become more like sensible forecasts and less like apocalyptic screenplays. You start to rewire the very circuitry of your brain. You're not ignoring the bad, you're just ceasing to give it a monopoly over your attention. You are changing the channel from the 24/7 disaster news network to balanced reality TV. You are teaching your caveman brain to live in the modern world. So the next time your brain tries to host a festival of your failures over one minor mistake, thank Grunk for his concern. Then open a new file, collect your data, run your reality check. You are the system administrator of your own mind, and it's time to install the update. Now I want to hear from you. Which member of your council is the loudest? Is it Grunk the caveman, Brenda the archivist, or Steve the prophet? Let me know in the comments. And if you learned something today, well, it would really help my algorithm, Gronk. Calm down if you hit that like button and subscribe for more mind hacks. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Take care.